Alright, after a couple of weeks off to get things settled after real-life complications, Poorly Explained Comics is back, and yeah, I guess now is as good a time as any to start talking about Venom. God, I hope this is the last dance. So Marvel's got way too many symbiotes now, huh? Between Sleeper, Misery, Mania, Widow, and who knows who else. Back in my day, by which I mean a day that actually predates me entirely but I'm weirdly nostalgic for, we just had Venom and Carnage, and we liked it like that. Oh, and Scream, and Riot, and Phage, and Lasher, and Agony, I guess technically Hybrid. Okay, like many things in comics, this is actually a much older problem than most people know or would like to admit. I'd argue that we didn't hit real symbiote saturation until Anti-Venom, but more realistically, if you don't believe it started in the 90s, the issue of too many symbiotes probably crossed the threshold in 2004, with the introduction of Toxin. I think it's pretty commonly known that Carnage is the offspring of Venom, but the Carnage symbiote has an offspring of its own. Once Venom became aware that his own murderous progeny was about to butt off a little psycho goo monster of his own, he tracked his son down to deliver that age-old warning about parenthood. Namely, that as this new symbiote was the 1000th of their lineage, it was destined to be insanely powerful. I think we've all been there. Despite Carnage's best efforts, Toxin was spawned and quickly attached itself to police officer Patrick Mulligan. Originally, Venom tried to protect his new grandson, hoping to mold him into an ally against Spider-Man, but upon realizing that Toxin had already developed a semblance of a conscience and the potential for heroics, Venom and Carnage both teamed up to deal with the newest member of the family, only to be driven off by Toxin, with the help of Spider-Man and Black Cat. Although Mulligan tried to keep the symbiote on a leash and help teach it right from wrong, this incarnation of the character didn't get a lot of page time before Mulligan was killed, beaten to death in a gutter by Mephisto's son, Blackheart. Off-panel, too, just to rub salt in the wound. The Toxin symbiote ended up in the hands of the villainous Crime Master, who in a twist of irony allowed it to bond with Eddie Brock. He and the Venom symbiote were on one of their breaks from each other at the time, and between Eddie's poor mental state and the trauma of losing its previous host, the new Toxin was much more vicious and violent, though it and Brock were able to reach a truce. The symbiote was presumed destroyed after stopping Carnage, who had been newly empowered by the elder god Cthon, but of course nothing in comics is so simple, and the symbiote survived. Eventually it bonded with teenager Bren Waters, who is still the current Toxin 3.5 years in as far as I know, and has teamed up with other symbiote heroes like Agent Anti-Venom, Silence, Red Goblin, and... Wait, who the hell is Flexo? This has officially gotten out of control. Anyways, on the movie side, we were already introduced to Patrick Mulligan in Venom, Let's Fuck Up Carnage, played by Stephen Graham, where he was unceremoniously killed by Shriek, only to spring back to life with glowing blue eyes for no discernible reason. We also know he's back for Venom 3, and apparently it's been confirmed that Toxin will appear, but so far the only clearly defined new symbiote we've seen aside from that big dragon is this. And if this is supposed to be Toxin, well, the movie symbiote well has been poisoned beyond repair, I guess, eh? Next week, we'll see. If I have an excuse to get away from Venom 3, I will definitely take it. But otherwise, I guess I'll do Null. Or maybe the Grendel symbiote, save Null for after the release.